Inspiring Uganda.
Hello, welcome to Education Forum. I'm Maureen Babide, and today I bring you trends and developments in the education sector. Now, today with me in studio is a lady in the human resource and an author. What comes to your mind when you think of an author? In legal discourse, an author is a creator of an original piece of work. Today we'll be interacting with Miss Latifa Mutesi that will be taking us through what she majors in and her experience. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Maureen.
Please tell us more about yourself, maybe something that you'd like the viewers to know about you.
Wow. What can I say? I am Latifa. She has already said that. Latifa Mutesi Eriama. And I am very glad to be invited here for this show. Thank you so much, Maureen and the producers. Glad to be here and to do what I love. I like to talk to the young people, to the youth, and share what I know, maybe help them where they need help. So that's one of the things that I really love to do.
You know what? I have so much respect for writers.
Really?
Seriously. I don't know. How does someone, what came to your mind before thinking, I should sit down and start writing a book? It must be such huge discipline. Tell us what happened that day when you came up with the idea to write.
All right. So first of all, my book is called Garlibo. And the first thing that came to mind was not my thought. I can't take full credit for this. I happened to undertake a certain course, and one of the assignments was you had to come up with a book.
Okay.
So at that time, I was just like you. I'm thinking, a book?
How do I write?
How do I even come up with a book? What am I even going to talk about? You know, I don't have experience. I'm not an expert in anything. What exactly am I going to talk about? But that's the thing with discipline. Sometimes it just needs a challenge. And then when you're put to the task, you come up with something.
Okay.
You find that, I found that everyone has a message. That's what one very special person in my life told me. Oh no, everyone has a message. Just look within. So every time I try and come up with certain things, it always came back to wisdom, advice, youth. I'm like, that's it. That's my message right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us more about this book. It's pronounced Garlibo.
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 Yes.
Because there's another Garlibo.
Yes.
So maybe people would be confused. Tell us about the contents in this book. In a nutshell, what does it entail?
Wow. A nutshell. Yes, like you said, Garlibo is derived from the word gullible, which means to be easily deceived, lied to, confused, which I think I found myself to be often as a young girl. Sometimes you're quite gullible and you end up in situations you didn't expect, you didn't see coming, and you're just struggling to get yourself out of those situations. And when I sat down to think about that, I'm like, why did I end up in some of these situations? And it was because I lacked wisdom. Yes, there's a difference between academic knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is the thing that tells you things like choose the right friends, you know, because friends can influence you to make certain decisions that you shouldn't make. And also, you know, respect your parents. Don't get into fights with them and quarreling, which is some of the things that I actually talk about in here. Wisdom about money, you know, as I'm growing up, what do I need to know about money, you know, except that I'm working hard in school to go make it. So I in summary, those are some of the things I talk about. And I'm just trying to equip the young teenager who's reading the book or listening to me to think ahead and be intentional about their life and the choices they want to make.
Now, I can tell from the title that it's basically girl-based, and it's like a guideline for the girl child as they grow into womanhood and all that. But we're going to broaden this into a youth.
Yes.
a youth
Oh, yes,
topic,
yes,
yes.
yes.
So we'll start with family. In your opinion, what do you think of our family status in society today?
Wow. In the Ugandan context, I would say our families are, there is the nuclear families, but then there is also the single parenthood families. And I think probably we have more of the single parenthood families in Uganda. And I believe that the family structure that you're raised in affects who you are. It sets the patterns for you, behavior-wise, how you're going to conduct yourself in the community with others. There is a famous statement that charity begins at home.
It does.
Yeah. So truly, the family you're raised up in is determining you and how you think, how you act, how you treat people. In very many ways, it's setting the standard. It's it's the one that tells you how to relate with money, how to relate with, you know, with a girlfriend and a boyfriend. It's what you saw at home that you pass on.
Yeah.
So family is the foundation. The kind of family you're raised in is determinant of many things in your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, for example, the girl child. Right now, let's speak about the girl child.
Yeah.
That one girl that grows up in a family that's nuclear with a father and mother, and then there's this other girl that grows up with just a mother or just a father.
Yeah.
Those two girls are going to be very different adults in the
yeah.
future.
Yeah.
How would you advise parents? Because we know a healthy household is a household where there is two parents in the household. How would you advise, you know, the youth out there, because the youth are, you know, 18 to almost 45, 46.
Yeah.
How do you advise people that are planning to start a family, you know, to, you know, cope with a healthy
family?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a bit of a personal topic as well, question.
Yeah.
Because I am one of those people that was raised in a single parent home with a mother. And I saw my mom have to be the mother and the father. Not that my father is there, he's a good man. Yeah, and I believe that he's a really good man. But for the biggest part, the one who raises the children bears more of the burden.
The primary parent.
He's the primary provider, parent. So I saw her have to carry a lot of burdens. And then also, you know, a Ugandan context, if you're the eldest, your children are not the only children you're taking care of. There's your siblings also living at home with you. And so you grow up in that kind of situation of having many people at home, having to do with what's available and having to be okay with what's not available, and make do with life. So it kind of raises you in a way to think, would I want my children to be raised in a situation like this? That's what I think about now. I'm like, okay, I would love for them to be in a nuclear family.
Yes.
Yes, I would love them to have a father.
It looks good when you see it from the outside.
Yes, not only does it look good, but also I think a father plays a father in the house plays a very
present father.
Yes, a present father. There's the difference. You know, there's the providing fathers, and then there's the present father.
The ones who just go
work
9
and
to 7.
I pay your fees, you know, go to school.
They do not get involved with you
they're not
whatsoever.
getting involved. They're not asking you how you're doing. They're not what. And as a girl, I find that a father has a very, very important role in a girl's life. He's the one who cements your self-confidence as a girl. You know, your father telling you you're beautiful. You know, so when you're...
It hits different when you grow up.
When you grow up and some boy in school is telling you you're not beautiful,
yeah,
you're
but
like...
you're thinking, my father tells me this as well. Like, so what are you saying?
Yeah, you don't believe him. You're not shaken by that. I remember watching a certain girl on Instagram, and I even write about her. And she was talking about how she had such a present father, and he was always affirming her. And I felt jealous.
I know.
He was always affirming her, telling how she's beautiful, she's this and she's that. So when she got to campus and some boy who was trying to take her out, she said no. Then he turned around and he's like, you know, you're even this and that. She was like, I'm so unaffected by all those things. You know, and I'm like, I don't know if I would have been the same. I would probably have gone to my bed and cried, you know, and believed him, and it would have changed how I saw myself. So I'm like, a father is a very, very important, very, very important.
How do you think that has affected, for example, the girls that grow up in single parenthood households? How have you seen it in day-to-day life? How has it affected them today?
Oh yeah, so the first thing that it affects is you become a people pleaser.
Tell me about it.
Very much. You want so much approval. You're always
Yes.
seeking approval from people. You
Yes.
want them to just see you. You want to be seen. Something about the way God created women. We like attention, you know, affection. Those are our key things, you know. You want to be seen, acknowledged, you know,
I know.
praised, affirmed. And when you don't have those, you grow up with a sense, with a sense of lack inside of you. And so you're looking for it. So you'll find a young girl maybe dating an older man.
Because they seek that father figure.
Yes, they're looking for
presence.
a father figure, you know,
Yeah.
sense of security.
Yeah.
She never felt safe when she was growing up. So now she has this guy. He's older. He's providing also. She was, so because you're in a single home, maybe the money was never really enough.
Enough, yeah.
But this guy, he's providing that sense of security.
He's
and
getting
also,
rid of the luck mindset.
Yes, yes. So it's like, I don't have to worry about anything
Yeah.
again.
And oftentimes, I think it leads these girls to make so many mistakes because most of these men that are in those positions to provide, protect you, you know, give you that temporary sense of protection are married.
Oh.
They're never going to
That's
be
the
yours,
oops part.
number one.
Yeah,
Yes,
oops.
especially for the maybe the girls at campus.
Yes.
These people are married.
Yes,
You're going to be
yes.
attached. You're going to have a very unhealthy relationship. Because sometimes you're not aware of these trauma patterns and how this might affect you. But these girls, I believe they're affected.
Yeah.
Because this man is not going to leave his woman for you. That's
No,
for sure.
not
And
at
how
all.
long until he stops providing this lifestyle for you? You know?
Yeah, that's where the Cinderella story usually turns into not a very good story. So it's
Yeah.
all good at the start until you start to find out. That's the point where I say we are quite gullible when you're in campus. All these things they're not in your mind. All you see is this guy who likes you and is doing all these nice things for you. But it's later on when maybe now you have a child and now you're fully reliant on him because maybe you didn't take school so seriously.
Yeah.
You didn't think you had to get a job for yourself or take care. You never learned how to take care of yourself, that you start to find out that you're not a priority to him and you're sad and depressed and
Yeah.
unhappy with the kind of life you live.
It's crazy
Yeah.
how the families we come from shape almost everything we have to encounter in life. Which brings me to relationships
Ooh.
among us the youth today, both platonic and romantic. What do you think is going on? Because the streets, like we call them,
The streets.
are not it at all.
Ooh, those
It's
streets.
wild out here.
It's wild out here. Survival for the fittest.
I know. Really.
Wow. Okay. Really, wow. Maybe which one should I start with?
Yeah, we should start with the romantic
The
ones.
romantic,
Yeah.
of course. Like anyone is there thinking, I want to know about platonic. No one wants to know, but okay, people do want to know. But the romantic is, wow, it's quite a mess out there right now, is the word I can use to
agree.
describe. It's a mess, it's bloody, you know.
If you end up
People are
even
losing teeth,
getting someone,
you know.
divorce, separation,
It's like,
bitterness,
what is going
even
on?
death.
Yes, it's crazy. It's very, very crazy out there. Yeah, so we need prayers. That's the first thing I would say. But
do.
also, I think everything comes back to wisdom.
Yeah.
In my faith, I really believe that we all need to think about, okay, what would God say about relationships right
Yes.
now? What's his viewpoint? We should all be in a relationship. Everyone wants love and desires love. That's why love music sells so much, you know?
Yeah.
Where their girls grow up daydreaming about their marriage from when they were so young. You're like, oh, the day I wear that white dress. Then you find that the journey
the
to the
girl's
white
dream.
dress
Roller coaster.
is a roller coaster, yeah. But maybe I'll start with what's the purpose of relationships?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe that the purpose of a relationship is marriage. We date because we want to get
Should be the end
married.
goal.
It should be the end goal. And anytime you don't start with an end goal in mind, that's where the confusion
There's no
starts.
direction.
There's no
Yeah.
direction. So I need to know why am I dating? If I know that I want to date to get married, I'm not going to beat around the bush with someone. We're going to be intentional about that journey.
Yeah.
And then that brings me back to the youth who are in school. If you know that, you need to ask, am I ready to get married? You know, before I start to date. Yeah. So if you know that the purpose of dating is to get married, ask yourself, am I ready to get married? If you're not, then maybe let's first keep it at friendship level.
Yeah.
Let's get to know each other in a non-romantic kind of
Yeah, but
way.
I think there's so much impatience going on
Oh, yeah,
amongst
yeah.
everybody, depending, of course, on where you grew up.
Mm.
Because when we go back to those kids that are, you know, grow up reassured, you know, they provide for you, you have all these things available to you, your parents are not dismissive, those kids are different, even
Yeah.
in relationships. If they came from a healthy household, they'll seek that in their partner, if at all they decide to start dating. Because sometimes I hear stories of married people and they're talking, oh, we started in high school, whatever, and then uni, and then we got
Yeah,
together, we're married
yeah.
now. So if that child or kid or girl or boy decides that now I want to see this person, they'll, even at a young age, because 18, I mean, you're old enough, you can decide.
Yeah.
They have a clear picture of what a true partner is, because they've maybe seen their dad love their mother in front of them, respect their mother in front of them, provide for their mother and them in front of them. So they'll know. Now, so much is going on because we have so many deadbeat fathers. Most men are just making these women pregnant, and then you end up alone. Or
Yeah.
maybe they get so buried into work and
Yeah.
they're not present with their kids.
Yeah.
So most girls, like you said earlier, seek validation. The people pleasing goes into those relationships, the romantic relationships, and then they end up having this premarital sex.
Oh.
They fornicate so much, and some of
Yes.
them cohabit
Yes.
without even getting to know this
This
person.
person, yes, because
So
there's,
I really don't understand.
yeah, there's just a desire to be loved. Yeah, every girl desires to be loved, but it shouldn't control you or make you make the decisions. The most important thing is to know the kind of person you're going to be with. Yes, not, you know, it's not everyone can give you the kind of family you want to have.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to commit to you, you know. That's why I would say take your time to get to know someone. It's okay to wait.
It's okay to wait.
Yes, it's actually
So,
biblical
okay.
to wait. Yeah, most of us, we are like, they say we are in the convenience era. Everything, you know, food, you buy
Accessible.
microwave, you
Yeah.
gas this, so we are not very patient. But patience does something to you. It's good to be patient. Wait, take your time, try
Yeah.
to.
It's not going anywhere. Sex
Yes.
is going to be there
Yeah,
forever.
ever.
Men and
Yeah.
women are going to be there forever.
Yeah, because they, you know, there are consequences. That's the other thing sometimes you don't know. You know, there are consequences. You're not just having fun. You could end up pregnant. Maybe you're in school. Are you ready to be a parent? That comes with a lot of responsibilities. And most times you find out later when you're like, this is too much, you know.
And you're too damaged to
you're-
even, when you
yeah.
find the right person, you can't even settle because now you have to go to therapy
Yes.
and fix whatever you destroyed back then. Like, waiting is so necessary.
It is necessary.
I hope the youth can understand
Yes, yes. Like take your time, wait, trust, pray, ask God to bring you the right person who is ready to start a family with you and walk this journey with you.
Which brings me to the men in this age. They are complaining so much about the, okay, women are complaining about the 50-50 relationships. We want a provider mindset from our men. And the boys, this is one thing I've noticed. There's so much emphasis on the girl child as we grow up. Do this for a man. They're training us literally for a man, like it's
Yes.
a goal.
Yeah.
I never once had a boy. I'm not even crucifying my mom if she can see me now. But in most households, boys are not held accountable for anything. They just grow up like that, which has
Yeah.
created such a chaotic generation of men. And now we are facing the repercussions.
Yeah.
What would you say to a boy out there that wants to date this girl? How would they prepare themselves? Because relationships are a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you've said, the first thing is they need to know that relationships are a big deal. Yes. It's not just taking her on nice dates and then,
Yeah.
you know, you guys end up, you know, having sex. And it's not all fun and games.
Yeah.
There's things that could come besides that. She could end up pregnant with your
Cocomelon
child.
ninjas.
Yeah, she
Very
could-
expensive one.
She could end up with your child and then now you're telling her who's the father.
And it's you now.
Is it me? You know? And you're denying, you know, all of a sudden you're acting like you are not happy with the person. But I would say it goes back to patience.
Yes, patience.
Take the time to get to know the girl also. And then as you're doing that, work on yourself as a young man. Because I won't lie, as a girl, I want to work, but you might need to build the house.
No.
Yeah, you're still the provider. So find a job. Get a job. We're not saying I expect you to be earning, I don't know, some 7-figure.
Yeah.
You know, she just needs you to have a job, to get stable, stabilize your life.
And the will
Yes.
to work and do
Yes,
your thing.
yes.
And
Have the will
be
to work,
better.
have some goals, have a vision. What are you working towards? What do you want to achieve? So that when she comes, she's
Look
like,
at the
hey,
boys
this
these
guy is
days.
going somewhere, you know, he's going somewhere. We might be on our pancake, but he's going somewhere.
Yes, he has a vision.
He has a vision. You know,
Because
he's
now
going,
our men, we're demanding, because in
Yeah.
this generation is a generation of woke women.
Yeah.
Women know better these days,
They
and I'm so
do.
proud of the
Yeah,
girls out there.
they do, they
We're
do.
demanding for a leader in a relationship, but how are you going to lead? You have no clue how to lead. And you're there. They're always in the gym, building muscles, but you've not like fed your mind. People don't read. I think even reading helps you like learn about different
Wow.
experiences.
Talk about that.
You know, because you're a writer. Reading helps so much on so many levels. People are not investing in their well-being. I don't know how the boys are going to be helped, but I think they grow up to become bitter as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, women are gold diggers.
Yes.
But where is the gold we're going to dig
Dig.
that you're saying?
where is the gold?
Where's the gold?
Wow. Yeah, that you've touched something quite important. Buy a book, okay? Yes. You know, don't spend all your money on material things.
Yeah.
They pass away. The shoes will get spoiled. But what you gain from a book, I see reading a book like having a one-on-one conversation or interview with someone you might never get to meet, you know?
I know.
You admire Bill Gates. You want to be like him. You want to be wealthy like him. But it's highly unlikely you ever get a chat with him.
Yeah.
But you know what? They take the time to put their wisdom in a book. And that can suffice for that one meeting. While you read a book, you could pick something. You could get a piece of wisdom that could transform your life forever. Yeah, it could change your life. It could change the way you do things. It could advise you in terms of business, how to do business. It's like he's a literal book mentor. He's here talking to you, taking you step by step. There are many books on so many things. Yeah, whatever it is you want to know, you don't have to suffer alone. Whether it is you want to know about money, there are many books
On everything, literally.
on money, on how to do that, on relationships. There are books on cooking,
Different
on
side hustles. Learn a skill.
Yes, learn something. One of the quickest way to learn is by reading a book. Yeah, so pick up a book, challenge yourself. We spend so much time on social media. If you could cut back on that and be like, at least I read a chapter every day, you'll be much wiser. You could be the wisest person in your friends by the end of the year.
I think I use that method because
Yeah.
you can't really sit and read the whole book, or maybe you know 5 chapters a day.
Yeah.
You get one interesting book and read a chapter a day. Same with the Bible or any book, any religious book. Find a chapter. Read about it.
Yeah.
You become a different person at the end of the month,
the
end of the week.
Yes, you can hold a conversation. You know that also is determined by what's in your head.
Yes.
Yeah. If you don't have anything, you can't talk. So you probably have an opportunity to talk with some important people and you can't say anything. Yeah, because you don't know anything.
On that note, let's talk about money.
Oh.
Amongst the youth, how best can a gentleman or a lady out there put their money to good use?
Wow. Money. I'll start with a story about money. So I think just like most Ugandans, what we know about money is go to school, make it, eat it. Yeah, that's it, you know. Make the money, eat it. But it doesn't end there. I think we all have dreams. Everyone has a dream. You want to build a home, you want to start a business at some point, but the question is, where is the money going to come from that's going to do all those things? Most times the jobs we get can't even take care of all the things we want, you know, let alone then put in business. Yeah, let alone put into business or your dream. So most dreams just fade away, you know, and yeah, people settle for that. We settle for that life of, me pick, eat. But I'm lucky that I happen to attend certain financial literacy classes that I got to introduced to by the same space of that I'm in. And one of the first things we learned was, of course, get a job, make some money. Now, on that money you've made, do not eat the whole sum, you know. As in my faith, I tithe, but besides that, save at least 20% of your money. That is your ticket to your dream. Yeah, it's your gateway ticket to your dream, because that dream is not going to manifest itself
On
like
its
that.
own,
Yeah.
yeah.
But if I work, let's say 5 years, and I save 20% of the money that I make monthly religiously, at the end of the 5 years, I have something, a capital that I can invest in my business. So that's the next step. So make it, save it, then invest it in your business.
Saving.
Or in whatever, saving.
Saving.
It's, you know, they say we have such a poor saving culture in Uganda. It shocks me. I'm like, wow, people
No,
can't
it's actually
save.
all over the world.
All over the world,
Because now we
yes.
have availability, like social media is there.
Yeah.
There's so many materialism on
Yes,
social media.
yes.
Now there's impulsive shopping amongst the girls. You're going to town with like a 20K, you want to buy one blouse, and then you end up buying pants, calling
what-
someone to borrow money
You know,
even. I want to
yes.
buy this.
Like,
Let
I
me
cannot
get
leave this shoe. I can't leave it behind.
It's so wrong. How does
It's
someone,
wrong.
like, oh my God, it
I
requires
think
discipline as well.
That is practicing what they call delayed gratification. It's
What
a
is that?
term. Delayed gratification is delaying gratification towards yourself. Like, there's things you want, but you can't have everything you want right now. Like we said, the money you have can't take care of all your needs. Let me tell you, even if they doubled that salary or tripled it, it's like the more they give you money, the more your needs increase. So you practice delayed gratification. Decide now, okay, what's important? Have a priority list. I think, of course, rent. Some things are automatic priorities, you know, rent, what, transport. But besides that, after you've saved, then you're like, okay, I think now I can spend on the rest of the money.
Yeah.
Most of us spend first. That's why we have nothing to save. But if
Exactly.
you save first, then you can spend the rest. And that actually helps you practice delayed gratification. Because if now the balance is maybe 200K, you can only spend it on so much. Yeah. So in a way, it helps you practice that you don't get to have everything you want at that time. You decide, you're like, okay, now I think this is what I can afford within this money. You're forced to prioritize. Like, okay, you know the things I need, what's most important right now? That's where you take the money. So delayed gratification.
I think for me, I use this method of, if I don't need it so much, I won't get it.
Yeah.
Also the liabilities. For example, I'll look at shoes. If I want to buy a shoe and I'm thinking, how many shoes do I have? When I'm buying things, I'm thinking of how many outfits do I have? What would match with this
This
shoe?
shoe,
What do I
yes.
have at home?
Yeah.
But usually, it's good.
But you see, you're practicing it in some
Yeah.
ways. You're even thinking about it. Some
I
people
do.
let that control them. They'll spend on
Yeah.
anything. They'll borrow money to spend.
When
Like,
it comes to the
yeah.
men now, you of course the youth go to the bar. You're in
Yeah.
the bar. You want to please this
Oh
kind
yeah,
lady.
you're choosing to live a
money.
life you can't afford.
exactly.
Or living outside of your means. That's what they call
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
You're spending so much money on these whiskeys. You don't even have food in the house.
House.
How are you going to plan for a piece of land somewhere? Because you're
Yeah.
a man, you're a leader. You're going to
Yeah.
have a family to take care of one day. Some youth end up spending that money on drugs, and drugs, as we know, are very expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, like you said, there's so many things those are lifestyle challenges we are
Yeah.
facing right
Yeah.
now. Things we think we need, but we don't need. First, you need to learn to live within your means. Yeah. There's too much pressure right now people face. Or even not right now, but I think there's always been there. Pressure will always be there.
There is.
Yeah, people telling you, come, you need to do this, you need to do that. But decide for yourself what you can and can't do.
What would you do if, like, you made plans with the girls? Like, you have a girl group, and you're like, okay, you guys, this time we have to go. Maybe on Thursday we can go to CJ's, catch up, have a meal, and one person invited you, and then you get to the dinner and you have to pay for it.
Oh.
Or maybe
Yeah.
you invited people and like you get into that kind of expense. You understand?
Yeah, okay, so they invite you, but they don't tell you that you're going to spend.
Exactly.
And then
They
you
don't
end
make
up-
it clear. And you know you're not in a good
You're
place
not in a good
financially.
place financially.
What would you? What would
Wow.
be your response to that?
Honestly, it depends. If they're really my good friends, I would have to speak up. I'd have to say something.
Exactly. That's the only
I'd
right
have to say
way.
something, because what else are you going to do? Are you going to call people to borrow money? Some people would do
Some
that.
people go to those extreme
Yes,
ends.
some people would do that, but you tell them, you know, you're like, we need to learn to be authentic in our
Authenticity.
relationships. Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe we find that some people are not being themselves in their friendships. You're trying to paint a picture of someone you're not yet. Yeah, that's what they call living outside your means. You're painting a picture, so be authentic.
People pleasing.
Yes, people pleasing, be authentic with your friendships and let them know who you are, where you are right now in life. This is it, this is what I can afford, yeah. And you tell them, I'm sorry, I can't afford this. Yeah, I can't afford to pay for this. So guys, let's all chip in. That's
Yeah.
what we do with my girls. We go on a date, we chip in. You know, if it's your birthday, we'll chip in, buy a cake, and this, you know, it's good, it's relieving. And
Yes.
it's not good to live under such kind of pressure.
Now we've all heard of the famous quote, "Birds of a feather flock together."
Flock together.
In your experience, how do you pick your friends?
The Bible says that bad morals will corrupt you, corrupt good morals eventually at some point. So that already is it's a standpoint of I would study your lifestyle. Is this person good for me? You know, and in what way are they good for me?
Yeah.
It's something that we are not taught. Most times we just gravitate towards people.
Yeah, figure it out as we
Yeah,
grow.
but it's actually wise to choose. The Bible says choose, meaning not everyone and anyone who talks to you is your friend or becomes a friend. You choose them basing on what you see about them, their character. That's very important. What kind of character do they have? Do you want to be friends with a thief?
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows this person is a thief. Eventually you become a thief. You know, it's true what they say. Birds of a feather can flock together. So even if you're not, everyone will think you do what that person does.
Exactly.
So I'm intentional about those friendships. I choose the kind of friends that I want, that I think I should be with. It's not always easy. Sometimes there are friends that people come around, but in your head you have an inner circle. There are people you talk to, and then there are people who, they're acquaintances. Not everyone is a friend. Not everyone you know is a friend. Some are just acquaintances. You work with them, you talk to them, you meet them at school. They're acquaintances, but they're not necessarily friends. Friends are in the inner circle. They're people you talk to, you come to for help. You know, they advise you.
I think that's where discernment comes in.
Yes.
If you're a spiritual person.
Yes, you need to be very discerning.
Yeah.
And you need to be also observant of people's characters and how they treat other people, how do they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
Get to know them before you.
By the way, this
Yeah,
also
yeah.
applies to romantic relationships.
Yes, yes, yeah.
You need to be able
way.
to decipher.
Yes, be able to discern what
Yeah,
kind
when
of
you
person.
go to restaurants, is this man kind to waiters?
Yeah.
Because if he's rude, best
Yeah.
believe it, baby girl,
He's
it's
going
going,
to
to come back to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Check his relationship with his parents.
yeah.
You know, check them.
Yeah, yeah. Check those things. How do they? I wrote in the book. I wrote a story. One time I was watching a documentary, and I saw a documentary about this young girl. She was very brilliant in school and all these things, and then she ended up making friends with the wrong crowd. There's something called, I don't know, I think mafia groups back then, and you know. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes have you found yourself in situations previously where you are like, how did I end up here? I'm not this person, you know. I know myself. I'm from a good home. I'm this, but
Yeah, those,
here I am.
those situations are always there.
Yes, you don't know. You just end up there, and you know she ends up, you know, dying. God forbid, but all because she couldn't detach herself from them. Yeah. So it really struck a chord. I'm like, wow, the friends we choose. Even all the habits and the things that I probably write about that I got into at some point, you know, as you're growing up, you know, it's because someone led you there. You didn't wake up and decide to go to those things. Someone talks to you and you end up, in such situations. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the, you know, the common characteristics amongst youth today. Discipline.
Discipline. Oh, yeah.
what would you say about what's going on right now?
Discipline. I think discipline has been a topic since we were we were younger.
From time immemorial.
Time immemorial. Yeah. For us, we were caned. You know. Yeah.
I do not like those
That's
memories.
That's how.
I was personally a very stubborn kid.
That was where the discipline conversation ended. You did what? Down.
Fancy.
And you learnt your lesson immediately.
Yeah.
But now we are in the time of, don't cane.
Dialogue.
Talk, have conversations.
Things have changed
Yeah, have conversations
tremendously.
with the children.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that bad. I think it's good.
Gentle
to-
parenting?
It's not.
I've seen parents are like, you know what? We're going to do a cocktail. We're going to do a
Yes.
mixture.
Yes.
Of-
We have to cane.
Actual African parenting and then gentle parenting. You know,
Yeah.
where necessary, you bring it in.
Yeah, where necessary, you bring in the balance.
Yeah.
But as a child, as yourself, I think discipline, what does it look like at home? It looks like being respectful towards your parents, you know, saying, just respond to what they say. You know, if they're asking you to do something, do it. That's just be a disciplined child. It trains you for things in life. Discipline also looks like working hard, you know. We are in an era where we think, you know, we spend so much time looking at celebrity lifestyles and you think they just ended up there.
Yeah, there's this illusion that things actually come easy.
Yes.
But in the
yes.
real world,
People work hard for
things
what
have
they
become
have.
easier
Yeah.
with the availability of knowledge, social media. But in actuality, you actually have to work towards something
Yes.
if you want it.
Yes,
be
yes.
it gym,
Yeah.
be it, you know, to achieve a certain body type,
Yes.
a promotion at
Sure,
work,
work. Yes.
to get perfect at a certain skill, you have to work your way
You
there.
have to work
And
your
we seem
way.
to have forgotten that.
Yes. So how do you work your way? You can't be that kind of person if you don't practice disciplines. Discipline is just simply making sure you do something
Consistent.
consistently. Yeah. You're consistent at it and you do it regularly. At the same time, you're just consistent. That's what trains you up for discipline. And when you're disciplined, you can actually work hard for things.
Yeah.
So that's where I would tie discipline into hard work, that you need to work towards things. That is how you get to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
There's also another term I like to use for discipline, which is diligence. You know, it's almost similar, like working at something tirelessly and effortlessly is what helps you get something. It's not attempting it and then when it doesn't work, you quit.
Yeah.
Like, keep at it. Whatever it is that dream is you have, just keep at it. Try this, try that, try that. Eventually, you get to have what you want. The opposite of diligence is laziness. Yeah. And many of us are lazy. People are quite lazy. And laziness is a destroyer, in that you don't work. You don't think you have to put in the effort to
Yeah.
get something.
Yes.
Another reference I like to make to the Bible is, it says, a little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty will come upon you.
That
You know, every time I look at it, I'm like, a little sleep and a little slumber. Like, the more you sleep, the more you what?
They're
You
swooping
wake
you.
up one day and they are demanding rent.
I know.
They are demanding this.
Yeah.
Here is calling, here's that. And all because you wasted precious time. So diligence is really precious, and discipline, they are man's precious possessions. It's the tools you have to help you get what you want.
Especially now that, you know, there's this feminism march, especially on social media. It's not bad. Feminists work and also can be stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home girlfriends, you know, when you have someone financing your lifestyle or whatever that is.
No comment.
But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, this whole soft life march has to be backed up by some work on your end.
Yeah.
Because now, picture this. This man wakes up and he can no longer finance that lifestyle of yours.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a baby now. You have over 5 years, a gap of 5 years
Of doing
without
nothing.
working.
Yeah.
It's
Where do
going
you
to be
start
hard
from?
for you. I know.
Where?
Women need to, I think, learn side hustles.
Yeah.
Learn something. There's so many people, I was going to say buddies, but they are buddies anyway. There's so many people that are selling stuff on social media. You can reach a wide range of people. You know, I think women should really focus on doing something aside from just, you know, waiting for men to do
To
things
provide.
for us.
Yeah. Like the way I say that everyone has a message, it's the same thing. If everyone has something,
Yes,
everyone
to
has
offer.
a gift. So you
There's
have
always
something to offer.
yeah.
So maybe it also comes from the mentality of thinking that you don't have anything to offer, which is really addressing another issue, which is how you see yourself.
Low self-esteem.
Yes,
I
your
guess.
self-esteem. How do you see yourself? Do you think you don't have anything to offer the world? You know, a skill. If you don't, learn a skill. Learn something. There are many people, courses online about.
So many.
YouTube is full of people teaching so many things.
You know, I think aside from like typical
Yeah.
courses and subjects, like maybe how to operate on a body, but I
Yeah.
think you can even find that online.
Yeah.
Everything is
Just
so
don't try that.
online. Don't try that at
Don't
home.
try
people.
that one at home,
But
but yeah.
most of the things you can literally learn any language now. With
Yes.
Duolingo.
Yes.
There's so much
You
knowledge.
can learn a language. It's so easy to start a business in Uganda. They say
So
Uganda is
easy.
one of the most entrepreneurial countries. People like
And actually, we still have the freedom to do
to
that.
start businesses.
You
Yeah,
can.
it's not complicated.
You wake up and you can set up a chapati stand somewhere.
Yeah,
at
you set
home.
up something
As long
and-
as you can
and
pay
you
the
sell.
owner of the place. In
Yeah.
some countries, I don't think that's acceptable.
Yes, yes. But some countries it's very hard to start a business.
Very.
But here, just wake up outside your house, you put a thing, and
Yeah.
and you're making some money, and that small thing builds up. Everything compounds with time. Just like money, if you save it in the right place and it's earning interest, it will also compound. Like it earns interest, and that interest then it just grows and grows. So even anything you start small will always grow. You might start small, but it will grow into something. Also, your skills in managing a business and what they
Yeah.
eventually grow as well. So you become proficient. Everyone started somewhere. That's the other thing. Not to look at people and think, wow, will I ever be there? They started somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so be kind to yourself and start something.
Be kind to
and,
yourself.
And believe in yourself as
Yes.
well. Have the faith that this thing will grow. This thing will grow.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
there's so much self-condemnation,
Yeah.
like among us youth.
Yeah.
You're pressured. You're looking at, oh, there's a 23-year-old, she's driving a
Benz,
Benz, she has a boyfriend who
uh-huh.
can provide this
Yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah.
This boy of 25 has his own land, he has
Yeah.
businesses. But instead of maybe learning, or maybe watching their content, if they're a social media person, and learn
Yeah.
how did they come
Come
about
up with
this
this,
knowledge.
yes.
I mean, how did she not basically getting this man, but like how did she get there?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
she's confident enough. Maybe she takes care of
Yes.
herself. I think also self-preservation is important. Take care of yourself. Learn a skincare routine. Be healthy. Be in your best. I don't know. Be your best self. You know when you feel good and you're out of the house, you're dressed nice.
Yes.
You have the best makeup on. You'll have this confidence to
Yeah.
look people in the eye,
Yeah.
say stuff,
Yeah.
go for this thing.
Yeah.
You know, feel like you belong.
Yes, yes.
I think that's
yes,
important too.
yes. Yeah, that's very, very, very important. That's
They
self-image.
don't like to shower. Someone comes in public and they're
They're
smelling.
smelling.
They don't even know there's deodorant. They like you're there.
Self-image. Yeah, like invest in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So besides that, invest in yourself.
Some people
let's
will
say.
not work with you
Yeah,
depending
they-
on just how you
you
look.
look.
They will not.
Presentation, because how you present yourself tells people about you. Yeah. So if I want to communicate who I am without my words, I need to dress the part.
Yes.
So before people even get to talk to you, they need to know who you are. They can see some things about you. They're like, oh, I think she's intelligent, she's this and she's that. You've already set the ground for yourself, you know. But if you show up looking a certain way, they have to discern who you are.
Yeah.
Then they have to think about what they have to deal with. So what they have to teach you, where did this girl grow up from, you know, who raised her. And I talk about a few of those things. I'm like, you know what, girls, just simple basic care routines. You might not have the expensive clothes, but
Yes. But you
let
can
them be
put
clean.
together
Put-
something.
yes, at least let
Clean,
them be
yes.
clean.
Let's start with clean at least. You
Yeah.
can't afford
Yeah,
perfume.
yes, first
Be clean.
Be clean. Deodorant. At least deodorant. You can afford a deodorant. Look, smell fresh
Yeah.
at least. Yeah, try to do your hair. Just look put together.
Because I believe that's such a huge part of discipline. Like that's where it all starts,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yes, it starts with your self-image, and how you see yourself. That's what you project out onto others. Also, when you don't see yourself a certain way, you can't do certain things. There's a book by John Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and he says that you can never exceed your self-image. If I don't see myself a certain way, I can never do certain things.
Yeah, there's also another saying that whether you think you can do it or you can't, believe it. That's it.
It's about what you think.
Yeah, it's about what you think.
So self-image in a way is cultivating your belief in yourself. If you look good, like you said, you believe more in yourself and what you're capable of.
But the looks will take you so far.
Yes.
Besides the pretty privilege.
Yes, no, it's not about pretty.
But
it's about
how you look will take you so far.
how you look impacts how you feel about yourself,
So
and
much.
eventually
So much.
what-
Let me tell you something. My house specifically, if I'm home, how my house looks, smells, affects me mentally so much. I cannot leave the house without making my bed. I cannot leave with dirty dishes because I want to come back to a fresh household.
Yes.
It already makes me feel like I'm so peaceful.
Yes,
I'm so content.
Yeah.
I don't know if it applies to anyone out there, but for me, my house
I think
is my
it does.
mental health.
Yeah, for me, I think so too. I like a clean place, you know, organized, put together, because that reflects on me, impacts me mentally as well, and inspires me to do things. Yeah.
Now, we've talked about so many things. Are there any coping mechanisms that you, as an author, could tell a youth out there? You know, on relationships, family, money, discipline.
Yeah. I think one thing we didn't talk about was addictions and bad habits that tend to form and stem in the youth. And I find that most times addictions come out of a place of someone failing to cope with certain issues and things they're dealing with in their life. Someone is addicted to alcohol because maybe
they're going through something.
They're going through something, and it makes them cope. They forget for a while. That's what they call it. You forget for a while, or you can feel like another person. You know, people end up taking weed, marijuana, because it makes them feel high. You know, they feel like they're invisible. They escape their reality. They're invisible temporarily. But is that really the best solution to help you cope with the things you're dealing with? Because when you come back from that high, the things are still here.
I know.
So for me, I would think, ask yourself, okay, so what is the permanent solution to this? The truth is, life is full of difficult situations. So the first thing for me is that awareness that life is a bit difficult and hard, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. So what has helped me personally has been having faith, my faith. There is a relationship with God that you need to cultivate. God is one of those, he can help you maneuver any situation. He's the source of wisdom. Because whenever you're going through a problem, what you're lacking is wisdom, actually. You just don't know how to solve it, and you think you're stuck. But you know, if you pray, if you read the word of God, read the Bible, read some wise books, you'll find the solutions to those problems.
I used to be that kind of youth, I think. You know, there's times when you think, how am I going to manage through this? What can I do? You're talking to everybody, but then it begins with you. Acceptance that, okay, this is happening to me. Now, what am I going to do about it? You know, but God has helped me so much. Like, you know, cultivating a relationship with God, reading the word, because you learn so much self-love because there's someone that died on the cross for you. You learn that I'm loved.
And then you have hope.
I'm taken
as
care
well.
of, yes.
There is hope, because most times you're lacking hope in that situation. But you're like, you know what? Everything, every season, it's a season. It comes and it goes. And also, mentors. Have the right mentors. Not only your friends. These are people who are wiser, they are older, they've been there, you know. There's a saying that says, there's nothing new on the face of the earth. What you're going through, someone has been through it. So have you had that conversation before with someone where you're like, I'm going through this, and then they just break it down for you in 5 minutes, and you spent months thinking about it. They're like, no, just do this and that, and it's okay. So mentors are those people. They're like a light. They help you maneuver problems.
Yeah, I think that's for the kids that have grown up with dismissive parents and they've learned to be closed. They don't know how to seek help.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
they think they can do everything for
Yeah.
themselves. You know, so it's kind of
Yeah,
it
learn-
affects them.
Yeah. This is going to require some self-effort on your side. Look for those people. Those people are there, but you need to approach them. So learn to speak up.
Yeah.
It's always scary, but every time you speak up, you get solutions to things. So you speak up, you go and talk to them. They're actually there waiting for people to come to them.
It's okay to ask for
Yeah,
help.
it's okay to ask for help. Talk to someone. Be like, I need help. I'm going through this and that. Before you end up on the other side of, you know, addictions. So look
Yeah.
for help. Look for help. Yeah.
Anything else?
What else would I say? Coping. I think that would be basically it for me. Coping, reading. Yes, if you can't find mentors in your space, read books. In school, we had libraries. Me, I was always in the library looking for a book to read. So, yeah, when you read a book, if you have a challenge, look for a book in that specific area, and you'll be okay.
Okay, now, of course, as we come to the end of the show, we'd like for you to tell us more about the publishing of the book.
Wow.
Who helped you do this?
Wow. So this book, I wrote the book. And it's called Gullible, once again, Wisdom for Teenage Girls. And I talk about a number of things that I felt were on my heart to share with the young women, young adults as well, just to help them deal with different situations in life, like we've been sharing with Maureen here. Wisdom is one of the ways you can solve some of the problems you're facing in life, and there's always someone who knows something. You don't have to die alone in a situation. So that's why I wrote the book, because I felt that I always needed such people in my life, and I wanted to be that person for some young girl out there. The book currently is, you'd have to reach me. I'm still trying to place it in certain places. So my Instagram is available. It's Tifa Mutesi. You can reach me also on my mobile, which I'll share later. And well, Facebook also is available, same name, Tifa Mutesi. And the book is self-published. However, yes,
That's interesting.
it is.
So you're a publisher as well?
You can self-publish in Uganda. That's the advantage. You don't have to go through a publishing company. And yeah, but I give credit to Harvest Institute, the leadership school that I attended, that prompted me to come up with the message that was on my heart.
Okay.
So that was the journey of coming up with this. Yes, they'll share my info on those who want to reach me to get a copy of this very small, simple book, and I believe it shall be a blessing to you.
Please reach out to Latifa, because we have such a poor reading culture in Uganda.
Oh yeah.
I hope this was helpful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode on Education Forum. Our main focus today has been a cocktail of different topics on how to live our lives, how to invest our money, how to manage our relationships better, how to make better families. And I hope we've brought to you the knowledge to help you come up with that. I'm Maureen Bavidia. Stay tuned. See you next week.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.